Today I'm going to show you how to make one of my favorite, not sure exactly what to call it, dishes, seasonings, toppings. It's kind of all three. It's actually a marinade, but I also use it as salad dressing or just as a topping on beans and rice, burritos, whatever you want to use it for. So I'm going to show you how to make it. My sister developed this recipe in her attempts to copycat a Chipotle grill burrito bowl. And I don't follow her recipe exactly, so I'm going to show you my version. I'll be making a double batch today, but the recipe in the description will be for a single batch. So I'm going to start with a cup of olive oil. Actually, this is avocado oil. Either one works. Olive or avocado. There we go. I'm going to add to that about a little shy of a half a cup of agave nectar, so about a third of a cup. There we go. And then almost a cup of apple cider vinegar. There we go. As you can see, some of my measurements aren't perfectly exact, but real close. You got the third of a cup of agave nectar or honey, roughly a cup of apple cider vinegar, and a cup of oil. Just pour that into the Vitamix. And then I have here a chopped up onion. The original recipe calls for 1 onion. So since I'm doubling it, I should put in 2, but I'm only going to use 1. I like it that way. So there we go. We've got the onion, olive oil, agave or honey, and apple cider vinegar. And then I'm going to start adding the spices. So we're going to start with a teaspoon of pepper. Actually, 2 teaspoons of pepper. But I'm going to make it more like 1 3/4. My husband isn't a huge fan of spice, so I try not to light him on fire whenever I make this. And then 2 tablespoons of paprika. I'm using smoked paprika, so the flavor will be a little bit different if you use regular, but it's good either way. And we're going to do 4 teaspoons, so a tablespoon plus a teaspoon of cumin. So for a single batch, that would be 2 teaspoons of cumin. And 1.5 teaspoons of chipotle pepper. I'm going to do a little less. So there's a teaspoon, and there's a little under half. All right. Now 4 teaspoons of oregano. So original recipe, 2 teaspoons. And a tablespoon, slightly under 2 tablespoons of granulated garlic, or garlic powder, or 6 cloves of fresh garlic. And salt. I'm going to put in 2 tablespoons plus a teaspoon. So half of that would be about 3.5 teaspoons of salt. There we go. So added all that to this little bowl, just so you can see. Now we'll dump it all in. I love the Vitamix. Makes something like this or making ranch dressing so much easier. Just put it in and turn it on. mainly just watching to make sure the onions are blended. Once they're blended, we're good. Turn it off. There we go. Chipotle marinade. This is excellent on meats, especially if you let it sit for a few hours. Let the meat marinate in it and then cook it. But it's also excellent if you just pour it over your food, at least in my opinion. I like it as a salad dressing as well. It is a little spicy, so if you don't tolerate heat well, just dial back on the spiciness some. So reduce some of the black pepper especially, and the chipotle pepper. Or just use it on your cooked food. Some of the heat cooks out of it a little bit, so it's not quite so overpowering. If you pour a whole bunch of this over salad, you will definitely taste the spice. But, yeah, there you go. It's one of my favorite, absolutely favorite things to keep on hand in the fridge. It keeps for a long time. I don't know, probably at least 2 months in the fridge. And that way it's just handy. You can pull it out whenever you need a quick meal and pour that over your meat to give it some flavor. Or, like I'm about to do, put it on top of a burrito. There you go. Enjoy.